All right, thanks for joining us again in our continuing series of making an effort to help help the light bulb come on, if you will. Um, we're starting off with the bottom line here on this lesson. Uh, you've heard us say it before. Anytime something becomes obvious, it isn't obvious anymore. We're told 1,000 times a day that China's going to rule the world. They're going to be the biggest economy, the richest people, the most powerful. I mean, on and on ad nauseum. Let me tell you a little something about that. First of all, I've been in this business for a while, and way back here, right around there, at the collapse of our real estate market back in the early 90s, you remember we did have one of these before, lost a lot of banks, but if you remember the late 80s, early 90s, Japan was buying everything in sight. They were dripping money. They had way too much of it, and they were going to take over the world. They bought Rockefeller Center in every single major city. They had an office tower or six. And they bought Pebble Beach. Spent money like it was water. Told us every day, just kind of rubbed our noses in it. Hey guys, you're down on your knees and we're going to take you over. I got told 1,000 times I better learn Japanese or I'm going to be in trouble. Well, we're hearing the same thing again, except it's not Japan anymore, it's China. By the way, it didn't turn out very well for Japan. They spent the last 25 years going straight to hell. That's how things happen when people aren't watching the right data. Let me tell you why China will not rule the world. They've had a one-child policy for 28 years. 450 million people have been eliminated from normal birth. You don't mess with Mother Nature. A blossoming country and citizenship has a natural process by which it expands. You must let it expand. Think of it this way. From a demographic point of view, if the end of the road is death and the beginning of the road is birth, the middle of the road is the part of your population that's the workhorse. It's the part that supports the elderly and brings up the young so that eventually they can be the middle of the road. This is just the way life works, and if you interrupt it, you screw up your country, believe it or not. They've had this policy for 28 years. And the fact of the matter is, we're approaching rapidly a period of time. You're going to start seeing data out of China 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now that literally just plummets with no explanation. They won't be able to support their factories. They won't find employment base. They won't be able to keep up with their cost benefits because they'll have to keep paying people more and more just to keep the workers they have, to try to hold on to that manufacturing leadership. By the way, this is why quietly you've seen in the last 9 months the only part of our employment sector in the United States that has grown every single month for all of the last 9 months is, guess what? Manufacturing. Secondly, manufacturing set an all-time record high in the March trade reports. Everybody paid attention to the trade deficit. The fact of the matter is we had record exports. Don't fool yourself. There is a racing comeback to the manufacturing position of the United States. You get crude oil up another $50 a barrel, and I promise you, people will no longer think China is the best place to manufacture because cost benefits won't be there. But more importantly, it's the people that are missing. The people that are missing are primarily female. In another few years, you're going to have 70 million young men at the age of, say, 28 to 30 who are going to be looking for a wife and family. There won't be any. They're going to leave that country. They're going to find a wife somewhere else. Now, you can laugh about this, but no one saw this coming from Japan. We're telling you the same thing's coming from China. The opportunity to invest in China is not based on investing directly in China. Buy companies that serve China, because if you buy in China, then you're going to be in for a rude awakening. These are major, major shifts underway. They take years to unfold, and suddenly they're a surprise. I assure you this is coming. Why is the United States going to be stronger and better than ever? Boomers in the United States are over 60. There's about 25 million of them. One turns 60 every 8 seconds. Gen Y, that's the big story. Kids between 4 and 23 years old, they are changing the way the world works. Embrace it, understand it, and invest with it. There's already nearly 4 million more of them than people turning 60. We have people turning 20 faster than people turning 60. This is a massive new opportunity as Gen Y matures and changes the world. Take your time, watch this link, click on it, and read that article. Rest assured, it will be surprising. One more thing. I always like to say, money tells you what's coming. This is a chart of the FXI. This is the China Index. It's an ETF. Now here's a country that supposedly, now everybody knows this, the whole world talks about it, supposedly this is a country that is going to rule the planet. It's imminent, it's assured, it's obvious, except guess what? Their market hasn't operated nearly as well as most of our markets or any other markets around the world. As a matter of fact, since 2005, the middle of 2005, their market has only doubled. This is a country that for 5 years at least, we've been told will rule everything. They will hold all the power, all the cards, all the money, all the wealth, all the technology, and our entire future in their hands. Why do you think then that their market isn't doing any better than it is or has been? It's because of what we told you before. Be careful of China. Don't buy into the obvious. The contrary investor understands there's something else going on in China. There's plenty of benefits, but they're not in China.